Hi everyone, welcome to our next little Rita Berman picture from her winter book. We have this cute little owl on a log I thought we would colour today. I am going to start with the actual tree, and let's go for a dark chocolate brown. We're using the Arteza Experts again. I'm just going to start by putting a layer of brown down, like I often do, just to get me started and thinking, and thinking where I'm at really. This is such a cute page. I've been looking at it in more and more detail. There's so many lovely little elements to colour. It's going to be lots of fun to finish. But as I say, I will share some of the elements with you. I'm just going to sharpen my pencil and then do a little more. Okay, now I want to do some shadow underneath the snow. If you think about how thick snow can be, as it is here today, it can produce quite a shadow. Though I haven't got any landing on tree stumps like this. I'm going to make the edges darker and then just gently fade that darker colour into the centre. That is so that it can hopefully look a little bit more rounded, because it wouldn't be flat. It would be like a bit of a branch or tree stump or something like that. So it would be darker on this edge, as this edge would be in shadow as it would be turned away from us. It's a little tricky to explain. I know what I mean. Now I realise we have all this marking on here as well, which I'm not going to totally ignore. I'm just trying to get this look working for me first, which I think we're nearly there with it. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Now these knobbly bits, I think I'm going to emphasize them underneath, as if there's a sort of shadow underneath them. I think that might work, and it will sort of look like there's some layers. I think if I colour the whole section in, it might detract from the effect that I was trying to get from varying the colour across the tree trunk. So I'm putting the shadow underneath. I feel that's where it would be, under the lines. I'm not sure how well that shows up. Put it around the top just a little bit, but keep it a bit wider and thicker underneath. I'm thinking. Sorry, it's taking a bit of concentration and therefore less speaking. There we are. Going to leave that there, and we're going to move on. Now this little acorn I'm going to do in this colour as well, really light, and then colouring in each section, darker at the top, lighter at the bottom, hopefully make it look slightly more textured. It's quite difficult to see, I think, on camera, but hopefully it's slightly worked. Now the actual acorn is usually a little bit yellowy, orangey brown, so I think our cinnamon colour might just work. It does need to sharpen though. Here we go. So the cinnamon, and I'm going to put more of the colour at the bottom where there would be shadow, and then less up here. And then I'm just going to grab a much lighter colour, the camel brown. Excuse me, the camel brown, and do the top and blend that in. There we go. Now our leaf, I think it's we've only got the one leaf. I'm looking carefully. Yeah, hang on a minute. I could do with brushing this off. It's quite bitty, isn't it? There we go. So just the one leaf, and I'm thinking let's go slightly brown to green from, because it's sort of autumn, might be dying and falling off the tree. I'm going to use the coyote brown, which looks green on the barrel, but when you put it down it's actually quite brown. I'm going to use it there and then just fade it like that, and then grab my pear green, which is getting really small. It's my favourite one. Of course, it's the only one in the whole set that decided to be a bit breaky when I first sharpened it, and it shrunk, and it's my favourite. But hey ho, I rather like that yellowy green colour. Okay, let's move on to Mr. Owl. Now I'm in a quandary. Do I do him grey? Do I do him browns? I'm not really sure still. I'm just looking at what I've got. I haven't got a big selection of browns really. I've got 3 that are quite dark like this one, and then lots of orangey ones. So let's do him grey. Solved. Easily solved. I'm going to start with, should we do that one? A sort of mid-grey, I think. The elephant grey. I think it's a browny grey. We'll find out. And start at the bottom. He would be a little more shadowed down here at the bottom, and then start to fade up. I want it to be quite pale by the time it gets to the top, almost white. Those little feathers I'm just going to ignore at the moment. I'm just going to colour around them if I can. Just go gently, take it all up. So I'm really only adding a whisker to the top there. I want all my colour down here, and then with these feathers I can put in some more intense colour and they'll stand out. They even almost to me look like they're a different shade of grey, which is quite strange. Anyway, our tail feathers, I was going to do them darker at each end, but they're so small. I'm just going to fade them off towards the tips. I think the wings I will try to fade it down towards the bottom of each little section, so it looks more like they're sort of overlapping, like that this top bit is a bit of shadow and then the tips catching the light. And then all the way down, and we'll do the same on this side. It's often tempting to do birds' beaks in a yellow, but if you look at birds, there aren't that many that actually have yellow beaks. A lot of their beaks are just greys, which is what I'm going to do for this guy. Just because I think if it was suddenly a puff of yellow, it would look a little bit weird. The actual eyes, I'm going to do a darker bit inside the ear. Again, it's often tempting to do that light, but it would be dark. The eyes, what colour might they be? Often they're browns and things, but it's going to be quite bright. Should we do blue eyes? Let's do blue eyes. Be different, wouldn't it? What colour's that? I think I'm going to use this indigo. And I'm going to do it like I do a fish eye. So intense on the side and fade it towards the top and the bottom, and the same on that side, and then we've got a shine. This obviously is not what owls' eyes look like. Now the idea of doing them blue is because the hat's going to be blue and the snow's going to be blue, so I felt it would sort of tie in. I'm going to do the snow next because I haven't quite decided on the colour of the hat. Periwinkle blue, like we have for the other snow in the picture. Now if you don't have a white pen, you can leave a white bit. So keep it to the left dark, then leave the right hand side slightly blank without any snow, and a little bit at the bottom. So don't go all the way to the edge on both sides. And you get like a little line of white, and we'll take it up to there, like that. I don't think I want to do the hat exactly that colour. Let's have a go with the this one. Let's give it a sharpen and then show you. The I'm thinking the ultramarine blue might be quite nice. So I'm going to do these little overhanging bits in the same way that I did the feathers. So try to fade them as I go down. It's quite tricky actually because they're very small. Now the stripes, I'm going to do an intense stripe and a lighter stripe, because we don't have another colour that's that similar to this, so I don't want to vary the colour. I want to keep it the same, like that. And then just making sure those intense stripes are going to make this light. So colour in quite lightly, and then the bobble I'm going to make dark. And I'm going to put some fluff in it as well, just for fun. There we go. Yeah, I think he's done. Can you see? But we're going to add a little bit of snow just to finish off. So I'm going to grab my Posca again, and I think I'd like a little bit of snow on the leaves, just on the top here, a bit on here, and then those edges that I left white are just overemphasised with the white pen. But as I say, if you don't have a white pen, just do it like that. Yeah, I think that'll do. I'm not going to put any snow on the owl because he's probably not been there long. So he's just landed there. He wouldn't have snow settled on him anyway. So there we go. So there's our next little cute picture from Rita's page. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day and happy colouring.